Jai Hind and welcome to all. So, in the continuation of fuel, in this lecture, I will discuss the analysis of coal, and which is of two type, proximate or ultimate. So, we will discuss this, and to make the slides, I took the help of two books, Engineering Chemistry by Jain and Jain and Engineering Chemistry by Shashi Chawla. So, in previous lecture, I have discussed that coal on the basis of rank, we can say it is of four type. So, least rank P8 and highest rank P8 and anthracite, P8 lignite, bituminous anthracite. So, highest rank is anthracite and rank is decided by the percentage of carbon, or we can say on the basis of calorific value. So, in case of coal, P8 is the lowest rank and anthracite is the highest rank. So, here we discuss how we analyze the coal. So, the analysis of coal is helpful in its ranking, and the assessment of the quality of coal is carried out by two type of analysis. First analysis is proximate analysis and second is ultimate analysis. First, proximate analysis. This is called proximate analysis because in this data collected vary with procedure adopted. And since we know that the coal, it depends on its age as well as the place from where it is basically taken. So, it is not necessary that the all type of analysis or all type like moisture content, volatile matter etc., these are same for all type of coal. So, in this it gives valuable information about the practical utility of coal, and in this analysis the percentage of carbon is indirectly determined. So, proximate means rough idea. So, here we find the rough idea of carbon content, and second is ultimate analysis, and this analysis is important for thermodynamic or for combustion calculation, and same this is useful for combustion calculation, and it is the elemental analysis. It means in this analysis we find what is the carbon percentage, how much nitrogen is present, how much sulfur is present. So, we can say it is qualitative analysis of coal. This analysis involves the determination of elements. So, first we take proximate analysis. So, in proximate analysis we find or we do the procedure for 4 moisture, volatile matter, ash and fixed carbon. So, we take one by one. First is moisture content. To find this moisture content, a known amount of fuel in a powder form and in dry condition taken in crucible. Crucible is silica crucible or is this type of ball, and which is placed inside the electric heated or electric hot air oven. So, the coal of sample is placed here and then heat this crucible in oven at 105 or 100 to 110 degree centigrade, which is the boiling temperature of the water, and we know that above 100 degree centigrade all type of moisture it get evaporate, and at least for 1 hour, and then remove the crucible from the oven, cooled it and then wait it. Repeat the procedure until the same reading, we get same reading. So, suppose after heating 105 to 110 degree centigrade for 1 hour, let the weight decreases. So, we can say the moisture, if the moisture present, it get evaporate. So, what is the percentage of moisture? The percentage of moisture is let the initial weight is suppose 1 and after doing this procedure let the weight become 0.9. So, the moisture it will be 1 minus 0.9 and since we find the percentage and for percentage we take the divided by total multiply by 100. So, the percentage of moisture it will be equal to loss in weight during this step divided by weight of coal multiply by 100. So, first step is this. Now, second and when we write the answer of this analysis of coal, first write the procedure and then write the significance, or we can say you have to write whether it is desirable or undesirable. And we know that when the moisture get evaporate, then definitely the heat get liberate in form of latent heat of evaporation. So, that is why it lowers the effective calorific value of coal, and since it lowers the calorific value, it means it is undesirable. So, moreover it quenches the fire of the furnace. So, lesser the moisture content, it means the better the quality of the coal. So, moisture content is undesirable, and we also know that moisture it also related to smoke, it also related to ash. So, it means the moisture content of in coal it should be minimum. Now, second observation, second is analysis is volatile matter. So, same step procedure, first write the procedure and then significance. After this step, that is after removing the moisture, the dried sample, put the dried sample in crucible and cover this crucible from the lid and then placed in electric oven or muffle furnace, electric furnace exactly I should say, in electric furnace or muffle furnace at about 925 to plus minus 20 degree centigrade, it may be 950 and for 7 minutes. And after this remove the crucible from the furnace, then cooled it in desiccator and then wait. And suppose after this procedure definitely the volatile matter they get evaporate or they get basically diminished. So, the loss in weight during this step will be used to calculate volatile matter. So, what will be the percentage of volatile matter? The percentage of volatile matter will be, here we can write, the percentage of volatile matter will be loss in weight divided by, since we have to find with percentage, so divided by weight of coal multiply by 100 and loss in weight in which step? Second step. Suppose from 1 to 0.9 and suppose after doing this step now the weight is 0.7. So, the volatile matter will be 0.9 minus 0.7 divided by weight of sample multiply by 100. Now, third is and before this we have to write whether it is desirable or undesirable, and we know that volatile matter it may be combustible or non-combustible, and non-combustible volatile matter is always undesirable. So, volatile matter content means a high proportion of fuel will distill over as a gas or vapor and a large proportion of which escapes unburnt. So, higher volatile content in a coal is always undesirable. A high volatile matter containing coal burns with a long flame, high smoke and has low calorific value, and we know that ideal fuel it must contain maximum or high calorific value. So, we can say since it lowers the calorific value again it is undesirable. Now, third is ash. Ash means remaining matter. So, after the second step in this, So, after the second step, take the sample in crucible, it is already in crucible, and then heat it without lid. So, remove the lid, and in muffle furnace about 700 to 50 degree centigrade at least for half an hour. So, in muffle furnace at 700 plus minus 50 degree centigrade for at least 1 hour. Remove, then remove from the oven or furnace, cool it and then weight it and repeat this procedure till a constant weight is obtained. So, in ash we do not take loss in weight, the residue left it will decide the percentage of ash. So, the percentage of ash will be left residue divided by, since in percentage, so divided by weight of coal multiplied by 100. Now, it is desirable or undesirable? We know that ash is useless, it is non-combustible matter which reduces the calorific value. So, it is always undesirable. And we can also say that ash causes the hindrance of flow of air and heat. So, it also lower the temperature. So, it may create trouble during the firing by forming clinker. So, it is undesirable. Now, fixed carbon, and to calculate this fixed carbon, we know the moisture content, we know the volatile matter and ash. So, the percentage of carbon it should be 100 minus all these percentage, and all three are undesirable. So, it should be minimum. So, we can say the percentage of fixed carbon it should be maximum or it should be high. So, it is desirable, and we know that percentage of carbon is directly proportional to or directly related to calorific value, and calorific value means the better quality fuel. So, the percentage of fixed carbon it should be high, and it also helps in designing the furnace. So, the shape and the shape of the firebox, because it is a fixed carbon and that burns in solid state. Now, suppose we take a problem, a question. It is not necessary that examiner asks a simple question, write the proximate analysis. He may give the question in form of individual analysis and then ask which type of analysis is this and find the all type of analysis. So, suppose question problem is a sample of coal was analyzed as follows: 1.5 gram, it means the weight of fuel is 1.5 gram. It was weighed into silica crucible, okay, and after heating 1 hour at 100 degree centigrade, 100 means moisture, okay, because we know that above 100 degree centigrade the water present in fuel it get evaporate. So, 100 degree centigrade, then the residue weight was 1.415. It means this step is for moisture content, and loss in weight is directly proportional to moisture. So, we can find the moisture content, and since here this analysis is done, so it is a proximate analysis. So, moisture content is the loss in weight divided by sample multiplied by 100, because we find in percentage. So, loss in weight is 1.5 minus 1.415 divided by weight of coal is always 1.5 multiplied by 100. So, it comes 5.67%. Now, the crucible was then covered with lead and heated for 7 minutes at 960 degree centigrade, and we know that 7-minute heating at 900 plus minus degree centigrade, it directly relate to volatile matter. It means from this observation we can find the volatile matter. So, now the initial weight was 1.415 and after doing this procedure the weight it left 0.528. So, what is the loss in weight? So, for volatile matter the loss in weight is 1.415 minus 0.528 divided by, since in percentage and when we find the percentage we take the total. So, weight of fuel is always 1.5 because in this question it is given, multiply by 100. So, it comes 59%. So, the percentage of volatile matter is 59%. Now, after this the crucible was then heated without cover with until a constant weight was obtained and the residue was found 0.254 and we know that residue means ash. So, the ash we can calculate from this value, ash is equal to left residue and the left residue is 0.254 divided by weight of coal multiply by 100. So, the residue it will be 16.93%. Now, 3 analyses are given, we can find fixed carbon and fixed carbon it is 100 minus all these 3, that is 5.67 plus 59 plus 16.93 which is 18.4%. So, okay. If the examiner asks this type of question you can do, or if it in examination if long question come then you can write the theory with procedure as well as significance. Now, next is ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis means exact elemental analysis for combustion calculation. In ultimate analysis, first important analysis is percentage of carbon and hydrogen. In this analysis, a known amount of coal, and generally 1 gram is preferred, known amount of coal of sample is taken and burnt in presence of oxygen in a combustion apparatus. So, here we take the sample and pass in combustion chamber, and if carbon is present then definitely carbon after combustion the carbon will convert in CO2, and if hydrogen is present then definitely it will convert in H2O. And then after combustion this gas is passed through CaCl2 tube as well as KOH solution. The reaction is this: if carbon is present then C plus O2, if hydrogen is present H2 plus half O2. And when we pass this gas through calcium chloride tube, this calcium chloride tube it is anhydrous calcium chloride tube, and this anhydrous calcium chloride tube it will absorb all moisture and then CaCl2 dot 7H2O form. It means the amount of H2O form it will be absorbed by calcium chloride tube. So, we can say the weight increase of calcium chloride tube it will decide or it will be proportional to H2O present, and from H2O we can find the percentage of hydrogen. And when this gas is passed through KOH solution then all carbon dioxide it will absorb by KOH and form K2CO3. So, the weight increase of KOH solution it will be directly proportional to carbon dioxide present, and from the carbon dioxide we can find the percentage of carbon. So, what is the procedure? Pass the gas, take the sample and then pass the sample through the combustion chamber. So, the combustion reaction will take place, carbon form CO2 and hydrogen form H2O, and which will be absorbed by calcium chloride tube as well as KOH tube. Now, when we find the calculation of formula C plus O2, as we know that C plus O2 is equal to CO2, that is 12 gram carbon form 44 gram CO2. Okay. So, 44 gram CO2 is formed by 12 gram carbon. So, x gram it means increase in weight of KOH tube, it will be formed by 12 upon 44 into increase in weight of KOH tube. And when we find the percentage then we take divided by total multiply by 100. So, what will be the formula of percentage carbon? The percentage carbon is equal to 12 upon 44, and how this 12 upon 44 find? and because 44 gram CO2 is formed by 12 gram. So, x gram CO2 is formed by 12 upon 44 into x, or what is the x? X is the increase in weight of KOH tube. Okay. Same percentage of H, H2 plus half O2, which will give you H2O, that is 2 gram hydrogen form 18 gram water. So, 1 gram form 9. So, 9 gram, 9 or 18 to 18 whatever you want. So, 9 gram H2O is formed by 1 gram hydrogen. So, x gram H2O is formed by 1 by 9 into x, and what is x? Increase in weight of calcium chloride tube. So, 1 by 9 or 2 by 18 multiply by increase in weight of CaCl2 tube, and for percentage we take the divided by total multiply by 100. So, these are the two formula for the percentage of carbon and the percentage of hydrogen. Now, second is percentage of nitrogen. This is important, and this percentage of nitrogen is calculated by Geldof method. And for this method, coal generally 1 gram. So, coal is mixed with concentrate H2SO4 plus K2SO4 plus copper SO4 CuSO4, and it is put in long neck jar which is called Geldof flask, and then heating is done, and after heating we get a clear solution. It means the coal is geldelized with concentrate H2SO4 and K2SO4 especially, and to form to make it clear solution. And then this clear solution, this clear solution is heated with NaOH, and during this heating the NH3 get formed, and then this NH3 is condensed in this beaker, and which have known amount of acid and generally concentrate H2SO4, and extra amount of acid is calculated by neutralization reaction with same NaOH, same normality, generally we prefer same normality of NaOH. So, here we can say when clear solution is obtained, and clear solution where we obtained in a long neck jar which is called Geldof flask. When clear solution is obtained, then it is treated with NaOH. So, N2 if nitrogen is present in coal, so definitely N plus H2SO4 which will give ammonium sulphate, and then it is heated with NaOH. So, NH3 get liberate, and then this NH3 is trapped in H2SO4, and this H2SO4 extra H2SO4 is calculated by neutralized with NaOH. So, what will be the percentage of nitrogen? So, here we can say let the V1, we take V1 ml of H2SO4, but in this few volume of few ml of H2SO4 is extra, and for extra let V2 ml NaOH is used. To make the calculation easy, we take generally normality of both same. So, what will be the equivalent? The equivalent will be N1, N is the normality of H2SO4 and volume used, and what is the volume of H2SO4 used? V1 minus V2. It is in ml, so we can say milliequivalents, and when we find in equivalents, so equivalents means N is the normality, and generally we take N by 10.1. V1 is the volume of H2SO4 taken, V2 is the volume of NaOH used for extra H2SO4, and 1000 means in equivalent. And what will be the amount of nitrogen? The amount of nitrogen will be 14, and what will the percentage? Percentage will be upon total x is the weight of coal, and multiply by 100. And when we solve this, we find the formula, the percentage of nitrogen is equal to 1.4 N V upon x. 1.4 n V upon x. You can solve this 100 this. So, 1.4 n V is the volume of H2SO4 used, that is volume of H2SO4 given minus volume of NaOH used divided by weight of sample. So, this formula is used in organic chemistry also. So, 1.4 NV upon x. Nitrogen is non-combustible matter. When in next lecture, when we do the calculation for air, then if nitrogen is present, no need to do calculation because it is non-combustible, it means no participation in combustion. So, it has no calorific value, so its presence is coal is undesirable. Thus, a good quality of coal should have little amount of nitrogen. Now, next is sulfur. Now, sulfur, if you remember the gravimetric practical in class 12th, then we know that sulfur is estimated in terms of sulphate, and how we get sulphate? By adding barium chloride solution, and if sulphate is present, then barium sulphate get precipitate. So, we adopt the same procedure. The sulfur is determined from the washing obtained from the bomb calorimeter, that is known mass of coal used in bomb calorimeter and which is used to determine the calorific value. And during this determination, after combustion, S get converted into SO2 and then in SO4 minus 2. So, S is converted into SO4 minus 2 and then it is treated with barium chloride, and when it is treated with barium chloride, definitely barium sulphate get precipitate, because precipitate depends on ionic product as well as solubility product, and its ionic product is quite more. So, this precipitate is then filtered and then washed and find the weight of this. So, what will be the percentage of sulfur? The percentage of sulfur will be same 32 and 2, the molecular weight of barium sulphate is 233 and the atomic weight of sulfur is 32. So, 32 upon 233 multiplied by weight of barium sulphate, this will be the sulfur, and when we find the percentage, so divided by coal of sample multiply by 100. So, the formula is this. Now, whether it is desirable or undesirable, although sulfur increase the calorific value, but it is related to SO2 and SO3, which is a pollutant. So, it is always undesirable. So, although it contributes the heating value of coal, but it produces SO2 and SO3, which is harmful, and it also has corroding nature. So, it corroding the equipment because of atmospheric pollution. So, the presence of sulfur is highly undesirable, highly, okay, and especially where the iron is used. So, at that place this type of fuel means if fuel contains sulfur is undesirable, because in iron the corrosion may take place because of formation of SO2 and SO3. Now, next is oxygen. You know that when we find the oxygen or to calculate the oxygen, and if it is not given, we add all element percentage, and if this percentage is not 100, then we minus with the 100 and the value which is obtained, it will be the percentage of oxygen. So, oxygen percentage, how we calculate? 100 minus the percentage of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, ash is not required, this. So, if values of elements are given, percentage given, and if it is not 100, so the 100 we do the 100 minus, and the value which we obtain, it will be the percentage of oxygen. And oxygen content, it decrease the calorific value of coal. So, high oxygen content of coal are characterized by high inherent moisture, low calorific value or low coking power. So, that is why the high percentage of oxygen is always undesirable. And how we get this low value? If the percentage of carbon, hydrogen is high. So, it decrease the calorific value, and So, value is given which is from Shashi Chawla, and even all the I have taken the numerical from Shashi Chawla. The increase in 1% oxygen content, it decreased the calorific value about 1.7%. So, it is undesirable because it lowers the calorific value. Now, here is the another problem which is based on nitrogen percentage. What is the problem? This problem is important, even maybe you did this in class 12th. 3.12 gram of coal was geldelized. Geldelized means nitrogen, because this method is used for percentage of nitrogen. And then NH3 gas evolved was absorbed in 50 ml 0.1 N H2SO4. After absorption, the excess acid required 12.5 ml 0.1 NaOH. It means the total acid which is used in this is 50 ml, but extra acid it is observed, it is basically neutralized with 0.1 NaOH, and how much NaOH is used? 12.5 ml. Determine the percentage of N, and percentage of N, remember this, the percentage of N is 1.4 into N into volume of H2SO4 used divided by X. What is the N? N is the normality of H2SO4. Now, normality of H2SO4 is 0.1. So, N is 0.1, volume of H2SO4 used, total we take 50 ml H2SO4, but in this 50 ml 12.5 ml extra was there because for neutralization this 12.5 ml NaOH is used. So, what is the volume of H2SO4 used? 15 minus 12.5, and which is equal to 0.573. I think calculation is correct. So, 37.5 ml. X is the weight of coal, and what is the amount weight of coal? It is equal to 3.12 gram. So, when we put the value of N, V and X, then the percentage of nitrogen, it comes 1.683. So, it is a simple question, 1.4 into 0.1 into this divided by. So, here the analysis of coal is complete, and in next lecture or last lecture I will or we will discuss the calculation especially for the air or combustion. Thank you.